Hey everyone, how are you? Very good evening. So today we have second class of BGP, right? Okay, let's start. We are discussing BGP day 2. Okay. So guys, basically today our first topic is where we use BGP. First of all, we will discuss this one, where we use BGP, and after this we will discuss types of customer. So these are the two topics. First of all, we will discuss where we use the BGP. After that, we will discuss types of customer. Okay. Okay. So see, the first thing is where we use BGP. Where we use BGP. So guys, the first point is at ISP end. Generally, the most use of BGP is at service provider end, guys. Service provider end. Getting my point? Why I am telling this one? Try to understand. Let's suppose this is one ISP. This is ISP. Let's suppose this is Geo. Let's suppose this is second ISP. Let's suppose this is Airtel. Fine. And let's suppose this is different ISP. Let's suppose Voda. And we know every ISP is using its own AS number. Again, I am telling every ISP is using its own AS number. Fine. For example, Geo is using AS number 100. Airtel is using AS number 200. And Voda is using AS number 300. Getting my point? Now, every ISP has its own edge router. Every ISP has its own edge router, guys. Okay. And inside the ISP, there are multiple router. There are multiple router. All the routers are connected with each other. Okay. And let's suppose this is the router and this is the router. So these two routers are already connected and the neighborship is already established between these two routers. Right. So what type of neighborship is this? I told you in the previous class, guys, this router also belongs to AS number 100 and this router also belongs to AS number 100. Fine. And I told you if two router belongs to same AS number, then the neighborship is called IBGP neighborship. Clear? So between these two router, neighborship is IBGP. Clear? Now, guys, first of all, one more thing. Let's suppose I am using one phone. I am using one phone. And let's suppose I am using a Geo SIM card. And let's suppose he is my friend and he is using Airtel. So just tell me one thing. Can I call from Geo SIM card to Airtel? Answer is yes or no. Yes. It means from different ISP, there is a communication, there is a no problem. There is communication, there is no problem. Fine. Now again, you guys have question why and how it is possible between different ISP communication, how it is possible. For example, Geo. I am using Geo. It means my ISP is using AS number 100 and my friend is using Airtel and Airtel is using AS number 200 and both are different AS number and both are different ISP, but still I am able to communicate. There is no problem. Why? It means definitely there is some connection or something happening. That's why I am able to make communication possible between two different ISP. Getting my point? So guys, see, this is the edge router of Geo and this is the edge router of Airtel. Getting my point? Both are also connected. Both are also connected. Getting my point? And on this router, you are using AS number 100, and on this router, you are using AS number 200. So between two different AS number, if you want to make communication possible, you have to use what? BGP. What you have to use? BGP. Here you can't configure EIGRP or any IGP protocol. Why? Because by the help of IGP protocol, you cannot make communication possible in different AS number. Getting my point? So here you have to use BGP. Fine. So that's the reason this is the first point. Maximum use of BGP is at service provider end. Where guys? Service provider end. Getting my point? Now, what is point number two? Multi-homing. Multi-homing. Organization with connection to multiple ISP use BGP to achieve redundancy and load balancing. What do you mean by it? Anyone? Any idea what do you mean by multi-homing? Guys, multi-homing means, let's suppose I have one company. Let's suppose the name of company is A. Fine. What this company is doing? My company already purchased the link from two ISP. I am not dependent on only one ISP. Getting my point? For example, this is Airtel and this is Tata. So what I am doing, my company purchased two link from Airtel as well as from Tata. Fine. Let's suppose we have, our company has two edge router 1 and router 2. So see, connection is like this. And let's suppose there is one switch, and this switch is connected like this, and here is our LAN user. Here is our LAN user. This is the network of our company A, and this is called multi-homing. This is called, guys, multi-homing. And here we are using what? BGP. Why? To achieve the load balancing as well as redundancy. Getting my point? So that is called multi-homing. Fine. And generally in maximum case you will see multi-homing. Why? Be because what is the benefit here? Let's suppose if anyhow our one edge router will down, then we have another router to make communication possible. Fine. Let's suppose if there is any scenario when one ISP goes down, then your all communication will happen through second ISP. Getting my point? So that's the reason in maximum case you will see multi-homing. Fine. So in this case also we are using what? BGP. Why? Because BGP provide us redundancy as well as load balancing. Clear? Now, the third thing where we use the BGP is in large enterprise network. In large enterprise network. For example, if there is any company like Cisco, definitely Cisco have multiple branches. Fine. So to make communication possible between two, different branches, we are using what? BGP. We are using BGP. Getting my point? So generally BGP where we are using, generally BGP we are using in the three scenario. First, at service provider end. Second, if we have a multi-homing type customer, and third one is if we have a large enterprise network. Fine. I write here, guys, one line. Generally, this is the, you can understand, like this is the fourth point why generally we are using BGP. Let's suppose if we have a IGP protocol. So what is the first limitation? IGP protocol only provide the communication between the same AS, right? So by the help of IGP protocol, you can't make communication possible in different AS, right? And second thing, IGP protocol maximum to maximum handle thousand of prefix, guys. If any router receive more than 1000 prefix at a time, the routing table of this router will crash. The routing table of this router will crash. Routing, this router can't handle more than 1000 prefix at the same time. Getting my point? So to solve this type of problem, we need EGP protocol called BGP. BGP can handle lakhs of prefix at the same time. There is a no problem. But your IGP protocol, if you are using IGP protocol, then what will happen? Your router routing table will crash. Clear, everyone? So this is the thing where we use BGP. Clear? Okay. Now the next thing is types of customer. Types of customer. Guys, in BGP, before start the BGP in a detailed way, first of all, we have to learn something about the types of customer. Fine. So the first type of customer is single home customer. What is single home customer? What do you mean by single home customer? See here, what I written. The customer router is configured with default route that point to the ISP router. This default route tell the router to send all the traffic destination to the ISP. Guys, try to understand what do you mean by single homed router. See, let's suppose this is my ISP. Fine. This is the router. There is one switch, and these are LAN user. These are LAN user. So guys, this is called single home customer. This is called single home customer. Getting my point? We have how many router? Only one router. Only one router. So here generally we do not need to configure BGP. This is the low configuration router. Generally in single home we are using low configuration router, and where do we do not need to configure BGP. Here we do not need to configure BGP. Then you guys will ask, sir, then what I will do? Generally on this router we configure the default route towards the ISP. And when you provide the default route to ISP, it means you are telling whenever this router will receive any prefixes on its interface, this router will forward every packets towards the ISP. Here you do not need to configure BGP. Basically, we are configuring the BGP. Why? Because generally we are configuring the BGP to achieve the load balancing or redundancy. But here only there is a single router. Then how you provide the load balancing and redundancy? This is not possible here. So this is the low configuration router, and here we are not configuring the BGP generally. Fine. So if you provide the default route, so what this router will do? Your edge router will send all the traffic towards the ISP. Fine. And one more thing. This is the edge router. Here you configure either NAT or PAT also. Why? Because guys, this is our LAN network, and here you are using which IP address? Public or private? Private IP address. And this is the ISP. ISP understand only public. Fine. So to make communication possible between private and public, you have to configure what? NAT or PAT on your edge device. So that's the reason you have to configure NAT or PAT also. Clear, everyone? And now, one more thing. What is this? If connection between client and edge router and ISP goes down, then none of the LAN user at the client end can communicate with the internet, and this is the drawback in the single home router. What is the drawback, guys? For example, this link goes down. This link goes down. What will happen? All the users which is present at the client end cannot communicate with the ISP or internet. Getting my point? So that is the drawback of single homed customer. That is the drawback of single home customer. Getting my point? For example, if this ISP goes down, yes, in this case also, none of the LAN users can communicate with the internet. For example, if your edge router will goes down, then definitely none of the users can communicate with the internet. So basically that is the problem with the single homed customer. Clear, everyone? Now, now we have different type of customer, that is called dual homed customer. That is called dual home customer. What do you mean by dual home customer? Guys, in dual home customer, there is one ISP. There is one ISP. There is one edge router. But in this case, we purchase two link from the ISP. We purchase two link from the ISP. We have a switch and here we have a LAN user. Now, in previous scenario, we have only a single link. So when that link goes down, none of the end users can communicate with the internet. But now in dual home customer, we have two links. So when one link goes down, communication will happen through the other link. Communication will happen through the other link. There is no problem. Getting my point? And that type of customer is called dual home customer. See, a dual whole home customer is an organization that connects to a single ISP. Yes, we have a single ISP using two separate link, but we have how many link? We have two different link. This setup provide redundancy and load balancing, ensuring higher availability and potential approved performance compared to the single home customer. Yes, it means our dual homed customer setup, guys, provide the better redundancy and load balancing if I compare with the single home setup. Getting my point? Now, if one link fail, other link can take over, providing continuous internet connectivity, and this redundancy increase the reliability of the network compared to the single home. Yes. So if one link goes down, we have another link or alternate link through which we can communicate. There is a no problem. Getting my point, everyone? Now, you guys can ask, sir, do one thing on this router. Can I configure any static route or default route with different AD value? For example, here, let's suppose this is fast Ethernet 0 by 0 and this is fast Ethernet 0 by 1. Let's suppose on this router, I am configuring two default route, IP route 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0.0, fast Ethernet 0 by 0, and after that I am writing the AD value, for example 10. By default AD value will be 1, right now? So I am writing here 10. Fine. Again I am writing second route, IP route 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0.0, fast Ethernet 0 by 1, and here I am writing the AD value 20. AD value 20. Fine. So in this case, this router choose this route as the primary route. Yes or no? Yes. And this route is known as secondary route. Secondary route. Getting my point? But what is the problem? Problem is this router never store both route in its routing table, or you can say in its ceph table, guys. Basically, I already explain you in routing part, guys. Router always take the forwarding decision on the basis of ceph table. On the basis of ceph table. Understand? So when you configure these two default route on the router, but router choose only one route and install that route in its ceph table. Which route? Again, which route? The route which you configured first. Getting my point? So basically this route router is stored in its ceph table. Fine. Understand? So when this route goes down, when this route goes down, then router choose this one and router start sending the packet through this one. So here what you guys understand? Here this router is not performing the load balancing. Load balancing means what? Load balancing means, let's suppose if this router have 10 packet, this router forwards some of the packet through this link and some of the packet through this link, and this router store both prefixes and both routes in its routing table and ceph table. That is called load balancing. But here this router is storing or installing only one routes at a time in its safe table. In its safe table. So that is not load balancing. That is called failover. That is called failover. Failover means when one link goes down, then other link will be active and move in safe table. Getting my point? So that is called failover. So what I'm trying to say, if you are using static root or default root with different AD value, you cannot achieve the load balancing. You can only achieve the failover. You can only achieve the failover. Getting my point? Everyone understand? So if you want to achieve the load balancing, what you have to do? You have to configure here BGP. You have to configure here BGP. So by the help of BGP, you can achieve the load balancing as well as the failover both. But if you are using the static root or default root with different AD value, you can achieve only failover, not load balancing. Understand? Everyone. Clear? Now, if you want, I can show you. See here. See, let's suppose, let me open this device. See, IP address is configured here. There is no problem. Clear? Let's suppose I am writing IP root 0.0.0.0. Subnet mask will be 0.0.0.0. Fast Ethernet 0 by 0. I am writing the AD value 10. Clear? I am writing again one more root here, and in this case that is fast Ethernet 1 by 0 and AD value is 20. AD value is 20. So see na. So IP root. I configure 0.0.0.0 and router choose which one? Fast Ethernet 0 by 0. Why? Because of the less AD value. Yes or no? Understand? So it means I configure how many default route? We configure two default route, but in this case router choose only one default route at a time, and this router will, if this router will receive any packet, if this router will receive any packet, this router always forward the packet through this one, because this is the route present in its routing table. Not only in the routing table, I can show you in the safe table also, guys. In safe table you will see na, I already mentioned the command also. So IP safe, this is the command you have to write. See here. See, 0.0.0.0. And what is the primary path here? Fast Ethernet 0 by 0. Fast Ethernet 0 by 0. It means if this router will receive any packet, this router will forward through fast Ethernet 0 by 0. So that is not a load balancing. That is not load balancing. Why? Because this router is still sending the packet through only one link, that is fast Ethernet 0 by 0. This router is do not forwarding any packet through fast Ethernet 1 by 0, guys. Getting my point? But see, when when the fast Ethernet 0 by 0 goes down, interface fast Ethernet 0 by 0 shut down. Let's suppose when this fast Ethernet 0 by 0 goes down, then what will happen? Then this router choose 1 by 0 as the best path. 1 by 0 as the best path, and this router install 1 by 0 in its routing table as well as in the ceph table. See here. So IP root. See 1 by 0 now. Even you can check in the ceph table also. See 1 by 0. So now this router will start sending the packet through 1 by 0 now. So here guys, by the help of by the help of default route or static route, you cannot achieve the load balancing. You cannot achieve the load balancing. It provide you the failover. It provide you the failover. Getting my point? I hope you guys understand. Clear? Now, what is the problem? What is the problem with dual home customer? What is the problem in dual home customer? See, as a router, we have two link, switch, and there is a LAN user. What is the problem? The problem is, let's suppose in this case, when ISP goes down, if this ISP goes down, then again, none of the users can communicate. None of the users can communicate. Even you have a how many link? Two link. Even you have two link to reach the ISP. But if your ISP goes down, you do not have any backup. So finally, none of the users can communicate with the internet. So that is the you can say disadvantage of dual homed customer. That is the disadvantage of dual homed customer. Clear, everyone? Now, now move on. Third one, guys, that is called single multi home customer. Single multi home customer. See here, single multi home customer means now we have two ISP, ISP1, ISP2. We have one is router. Again, we have switch. Previously, we have a problem that if ISP goes down, then none of the users can communicate with the internet. But now, how many ISP we have? Now we have two ISP. Now we have how many ISP? Two ISP. A single multi-homed customer refer to the internet setup where an organization connect to the internet through multiple ISP. Through how many ISP, guys? Multiple ISP, but using a single device at the edge of the network. It means we have how many edge device? Only one. We have how many? Only one. Getting my point? By connecting to multiple ISP, the organization ensure that if one ISP fail, the other can still provide the internet access. Yes, according to ISP point of view, if one ISP goes down, we have ISP number 2 as in backup. So this ISP number 2 will provide the redundancy. Getting my point? Understand, everyone? Now, to achieve the load balancing between the both ISP, we are using what? BGP. What we are using here? BGP. So if one ISP goes down, we have second one. We have second one. Getting my point, everyone? Now, again, we have a problem. What is the problem? Guys, tell me one thing. If, let's suppose, this edge router goes down, then do we have any alternate edge router? No, we do not have any alternate edge router here. Definitely, if one ISP goes down, we have ISP number 2 as in backup. So by the help of BGP, we can achieve the load balancing or redundancy. There is a no problem. But if we are talking about the edge router, we have how many edge router here? Only one edge router. So if our edge router goes down, then we do not have any backup. We do not have any backup. See here, while a single multi-homed customer setup provide redundancy and performance optimization through the multiple ISP connection. There is no problem because we have a multiple ISP and it provide redundancy. There is no problem. But it has a drawback. What? If the edge router fails, then entire network connectivity will lost. None of the end device which is connected on the client end can communicate with the internet. Fine. And that is called single point failure because this is the ISP1, ISP2, edge router, switch, LAN user. How many we have? Single point of failure, guys, here. It means if this router goes down, we do not have any alternate. So that is called single point failure. That is called single point failure. Getting my point? So this is the third type of customer that is called single multi-home customer. Getting my point, everyone? Understand? Now, the last type of customer is called dual multi-home customer. Dual multi-home customer. Now, again, you guys will ask, sir, how dual multi-home customer looks like? See here, ISP1, ISP2. We have now two edge router. Router 1 and router 2. And connection is like this. Switch, LAN. So that is called what? That is called dual multi-home customer. So see na, if one ISP goes down, we have ISP number 2 as in backup. If one edge router goes down, we have alternate edge router. So now this dual multi-home customer provide us complete redundancy as well as load balancing. So here we need to configure what? BGP. So by the configuration of BGP, we can achieve 100% redundancy as well as load balancing here. There is no problem. Getting my point, everyone? I hope you guys understand. See na, a dual multi-home customer refer to an organization that connect to the internet through multiple ISP. Yes, we have a multiple ISP and at least how many edge router? Two edge router. How many edge router? Two edge router at least. This setup enhance redundancy and reliability compared to the other types of customer, guys. And also it is eliminating the single point of failure in previous type of customer, that is what? That is multi-home customer, guys. That is, guys, tell me. That is single multi-home customer na. In single multi-home customer we have only one edge router na, and that is called single point of failure. That is called single point of failure. But in case of dual multi-home customer, we have how many edge router? We have two edge router. So it, by the help of dual multi-home customer, it is eliminating the single point of failure. Fine. It is commonly used in the large enterprises like data center and organization require high availability. Fine. The customer connect to two or more ISP, ensuring that if one ISP have issue, we have second one. That is no problem. And what is this? If your one edge router goes down, then we have another one. We have another one. Getting my point? The network can handle hardware failure or maintenance without disrupting the internet connectivity. It means, what do you mean by this line, guys? It means, let's suppose if we have a ISP1, ISP2, router 1, router 2. If we have a connection like this, it means, let's suppose on this router, if we have any types of maintenance, if we have any types of maintenance like iOS upgrade or anything, so in this case we have second router, as a backup. So this router will act as a active router or primary router and make the communication possible. There is no problem. Fine. And to achieve the load balancing and redundancy, we have to use what? BGP. What we have to use, guys? We have to use BGP. Getting my point, everyone? Now I hope you guys understand types of customer very well. Getting my point, everyone? So how many types of customer we see here, guys? Total four types of customer we see. First is single home customer. In single home customer, we have only single ISP, single router, single single connection, switch, and LAN users. Yes or no? Yes. Now, second one was dual home. In dual home, what is the scenario? I have only one ISP, one edge router, one switch, all the LAN user. But we have how many link? Two link here. How many link, guys? Two link here. Getting my point? So Sina, in the first scenario, if this link goes down, none of them can communicate with the internet. Getting my point? So in second one, what is happening? We have how many link? Two link now. How many link? Two link now. But if this ISP goes down, then none of the users can communicate with the internet. Getting my point? So solve this type of problem. We have third type of customer, that is called single multi-home customer. That is called, guys, single multi-home customer. In single multi-home customer, we have what? We have two ISP, ISP1, ISP2. But how many edge router? Only edge router. Only one edge router. See, previously what was the problem? Previously the problem was if this ISP goes down, then none of the users can communicate. But now we have two ISP. If one ISP goes down, we have second one. There is no problem. But the problem is when edge router goes down. When edge router goes down, then again none of the users can communicate with the internet. Getting my point? And to solve all the problem, to solve all types of customer problem, we have what? We have solution of dual multi home customer. So in dual multi home customer, we have, guys, two ISP, ISP1, ISP2. We have two edge router 1, router 2. We have connection like this, so it provide the complete redundancy. Now see, so in this case, if one ISP goes down, we have second. If one router goes down, one edge router goes down, we have second. There is no problem. Getting my point? So that is called types of customer. That is called types of customer. Clear, everyone? I hope you guys understand the types of customer very well. Clear, everyone? Tell me yes or no. Clear? Okay, guys.